Hey, welcome to Gun Stuff. So today, CMMG has sent us their Mk17. This is a Mk17. It's a 9mm AR style pistol. It comes with a rip brace, a 5-inch barrel, really short, lightweight package. But one of the cool things about this gun is the Radial Delayed Blowback bolt that they have in here. So I can't wait to get this thing out on the range, put some rounds down through it, and just to see how it performs. All right, so now we're gonna do our accuracy testing. Now, what we did is we just threw a 1x4 variable power on here. This is a low end scope, but what we're looking at is we just wanna test the accuracy at, say, at 100 yards. Now, we don't expect a whole lot of accuracy out of this because this is a 5-inch barrel. So this is the same as a pistol barrel that you carry on a regular basis. You know, since this shoots SIGs, I'll compare it to like a SIG or something like that, like a Legion or something, you know, something with a little bit longer barrel, with a 5X or something. So we're just gonna take a couple shots just to show you the kind of grouping we can get out of it at 100, and then we'll change it over and go red dot, and then we'll start having some fun with it. All right, going hot at 100. All right, let's go down and check out our targets. All right, so here we are at 100 yards. So this is the group I just shot. This is about a 6-inch spread right here. This is kind of what I was expecting on a shorter barrel. So as short as this thing is, you know, we're not expecting a whole lot of accuracy out of it. But one of the cool things about this is that this is just a 4 power. So I had this on. This is a 1x4. So I had it all the way up to 4 power. A lot of your prism scopes, things like that, we've done reviews on other ones, and they come in 3 power. So you should be able to get the same performance out of this with just a 3 power prism or something like that, or even some of your other Trichcons and things like that you can put on here that are 3 power. So you can get very, very similar to magnification to what we have here without the big bulk, you know, so having a small, tight package and still be able to reach out to 100 yards and be able to put this on. So when I was shooting, we put this right here because we have to be able to see over a hill. So that's why the steel target to my side here is a little bit higher. But as I was shooting, we still got a round gong here behind it. So a couple of them I was hitting the round gong through here. So you may have heard a couple of them in there, but this is very, very good. So we just put my crosshairs on. I'm not trying to get this group up into the center to do this. Well, all we wanted was, we didn't want to spend a lot of time on trying to get this thing into dead center. We just wanted to show you a nice tight group on here. So this is more than acceptable for such a short, lightweight, compact AR pistol. So one of the cool things about this is what we were talking about before was the bolt. So this bolt, as it pushes to the rear, it unlocks itself. So what that does is that slows down the cyclic action of this bolt, which gives it a little bit more accuracy because it gives time for that bullet to get out of the barrel before you have the full mass moving. So when you're looking for accuracy, this helps a lot with the shorter barrel. So you're able to go with a shorter, lighter combo and still maintain deadly effective, accurate fire at longer ranges. Now, we could definitely stretch this out and go a little bit further if we wanted to, but we really want to get into the meat and potatoes of what this gun's about, all the close-in, highly maneuverable stuff. So we're going to go ahead and go back. We're going to ditch the optic, and we're going to go ahead and throw a red dot on there, and we're going to start running the gun with it. All right, one of the cool things about this gun being cross-compatible with a lot of AR parts is the mil-spec trigger. So this is a standard mil-spec trigger. Of course, it's been tuned by them to their specs. This is breaking at about 5 pounds. But one of the things that's awesome about this is that these are all interchangeable parts. So you can tune this to whatever configuration you want. If, you know, some people take these things out, they polish them, they hone them, they do those trigger jobs to these. You can buy the aftermarket spring packs to tune it to whatever feel you you like on here. So the sky is the limit with the trigger pack on this. But with it being a mil spec, you can make all those things. And because it's those triggers have been around for such a long time, you'll be able to tune this to exactly the way you like it. Right now, it feels great. Great trigger, breaking at about 5 pounds. And this is, I myself probably wouldn't mess with it too much, but for those of us out there that are trigger snobs, you know, you want to put it on there. I don't necessarily say trigger snob, but if you really like yours a very particular way, you can tune it to get that. So we're going to take it back, put the red dot on, and keep on shooting. Man, this thing is a compact powerhouse. So talk about a truck gun. This thing, you have all the dynamic range to be able to move around in really tight confined spaces here. So that's what we wanted to get in here and demonstrate that in a live fire scenario, be able to show you shooting this thing and how it works in here. So we're gonna get out of the truck now, we're gonna go down, we're gonna blast some steel. All right, so as you can see inside the truck, real small, lightweight package, real easy to have under a seat in some kind of scabbard or something like that. And they got all the different things to mount them to the back of your seat, under your seat, all this different stuff. But being in a short, really tight, confined space like that, it gives a lot of maneuverability. You can see me going over the steering wheel and everything. But the thing that made it really easy in there is, what I want to talk about right now, is their proprietary charging handle. This is their own charging handle. Not much different than a regular AR charging handle, but they did a really good design on this. So when I came up, I was able to hit it and manipulate everything really well. So for some of you people that are left-handed, when you go to shoot left-handed, sometimes you run into issues when you're trying to hit your charging handle, where when you're shooting left-handed, you come up and you hit, and you may hit the forward assist. This comes out really far, so you can get your hand right up on top of that. Works really well. And then another thing also, for when you get out, this thing is meant for rapid deployment. This thing is meant for close quarters, right? So you get in there, you get this thing racked up, charged or whatever, if you're carrying it locked and loaded or whatever. We just did it for demonstration safety purposes of not having around the chamber. Just wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to operate the gun inside confined space. But then the rip brace, when you get out into out of the vehicle and you want to get on the move, you just take this thing, push it right out. So this rip brace is their own design. It uses just uses the SB Tactical rear brace here, or SB Tactical style, and it has these little bevels in here that allow this to rip out. Now this is their own design. They have this in a stock format if you want to go SBR, and they have it in the pistol format like you see here. But you can put a screw in any of these little detent spaces in here to make it automatically rip out to the position you want. So if you only want to come out and engage halfway, you just put a screw in there and it'll stop halfway for if you're a smaller frame, or if you know you're going to be wearing body armor or something like that. So you can get out, hook up your sling or whatever, or if you're running without a sling and being like I wouldn't have had a sling in there, you just rip that thing open and now you're ready to go. You don't have to do any real adjustments. So it just comes right out, right in, and you're ready to get out and move. So you can get out, come around the vehicle, and finish engaging or doing whatever it is you need to do to secure the scene. So now we're going to go ahead and move on down. We're going to keep on going. All right, so one of the cool things about this, it's the Mk17, right? So it's meant to take Sig mags, and you can reload from whatever it is you carry on your pistol, okay? So I'm carrying an RX version, Sig 320 right now. These are gonna take the same mag. So we always talk about cross-platform compatibility. So if this is gonna be a truck gun or something like that, and this is what I'm carrying, this is gonna pair up perfectly with your Sig full-size guns. So being able to grab this, get out of the truck, move, take shots, and be able to go and get away from your vehicle or something like that, and be able to hold up somewhere else, or pursue a threat or whatever it is you need to do. You're going to be able to reload from whatever your backup and your reloads are that you carry on your belt regularly. Now this model it comes in Cerakote, so you get these in 10 different colors to choose from. This one is slate. All right, so this looks really good. I really like this. It shows off all of the contrast between the gray and the black. It has the sling attachment on the back. So if you want to have a sling ready to go, so you can slap onto it. Something this small, I might not necessarily have a sling, but have some kind of clip system or something like that. Like if I need to, I could clip it to a belt, or I could clip it and secure it to something, you know, carabiner. These things are, you know, I've seen some of those tricks out there as well, just to secure it, to keep it to your body so you don't lose it. But with this thing being such a small, compact package, it can really go just about anywhere. By the time you collapse it up, stick it in a backpack. So you have to really think outside the box of how do you want to be able to employ this weapon? How do you want to be able to shoot it? This thing is shooting phenomenally. The recoil on this is outstanding, and I'm not getting hardly any jump out of it. We haven't really shot it in real rapid fire yet. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but this thing feels great, and I'm really liking it, especially the cross-platform compatibility. So we're going to keep on going. All right, so we're getting to the fun part of the video. You got a 5-inch barrel on here, has about a 4.5-inch M-lock rail, has 3 slots on the M-lock, and of course it has the Picatinny all the way across the top. This is threaded 1/2 by 28, so you can get your favorite suppressor on here or any other muzzle device that you like. So we're going to go ahead and pop a couple rounds here with it suppressed. We're going to probably run it suppressed the rest of the way through. All right. All right, so this thing's running pretty good with the suppressor on it, nice and quiet. And we're not even running the downloaded rounds for suppressors and stuff like that. We're just running some standard 115 grain ball right now, but it's already making it, with the suppressor, it's already making it ear safe. So not blowing out your eardrums. But even with the suppressor on here, this is a relatively long suppressor. It still makes this a very short maneuverable package. Now there are smaller, lighter models out there, but right now it's doing the job for what we wanted to do, and we want to test it out. So. All right, so this really quick follow-up shots with the delayed blowback bolt system that we're talking about here. We'll get into that in just a minute. So this comes with MOE grips on here, so it's upgraded. I'm not a big fan of the A2 myself. And one of the other things I like on here is that it comes with ambidextrous safety. So you can, what I like to do is I like to I turn it on to fire with my thumb, but then when I come back to put it on safe, for some reason I instinctually like to come back with my trigger finger, just one, so that it gets my trigger finger off there, and I disengage from the gun. When I'm bringing it down to the low ready and I'm ready to come off target, I bring it back and do it that way. It's just a habit from training from days gone by. But I love the Magpul furniture, so I usually typically put that on my own stuff anyways. They're some of the first things that I change out, but makes it just, the interface with the gun feels really good. And of course this runs standard AR, so whatever your favorite grip is, you'll be able to put on here. If you like a steeper grip angle or something like that, you'll be able to switch it out and put it on here. So follow-up shots on this thing is really quick because you don't get a lot of jump out of it. Another thoughtful thing that I like on this is on the handguard, they have a little finger stop right up here on the front. All right, so a lot of us are getting away from vertical foregrips and things like that, where so you can't put a vertical foregrip on there because this is a pistol. So you put an angled on there, something like that. You don't have a whole lot of real estate on small things like this. So the only way to attach a finger stop is on this one groove right here. So you don't have to waste critical space on this already small grip, already compact grip. with trying to put some type of finger stop so you don't accidentally get a finger in front of the muzzle. So this right here, when you grip it, it instinctually stops your hand exactly where it's supposed to. So not just so that you're not taking up critical space, but also so that you just get consistency with your grip. So every time you come up, of course I'm not running this with a sling today, but every time you come up with the gun from a low ready, you come up and you slide your hand right down onto that stop and coming up, you're getting a nice consistent grip every time. So far I like everything about this gun. It's running smooth. We're gonna go back up to the bench right now. We're gonna talk about the bolt just a little bit. All right, so here we are at the bench. Okay, so we want to give you a look at the radial delayed blowback that they offer in here. So what the radial delayed blowback does is it slows everything down in there for just a millisecond to be able to for the bullet to leave the barrel. And what it does is it cuts a lot of weight out of things also. So normally, I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart real quick, let you get a good look at it. So this is the inside of the lower here. You can see you have your last bullet hold open there. So when it comes up and hits this, it'll engage this little piece there, and it'll lock it to it'll engage this part here, locks it to the rear. So you got your last round bolt hold open. And the magic of this gun itself is in the bolt. Okay, so I'll show you the bolt here real quick. Here's a good look at the charging handle. Big, nice, big actuated charging handle. Either side hits the release lever. Okay, so what's super cool about this is this radial delayed blowback. So most 9mm bolts are usually cut off right about here, and they look about like this. They have a bolt face on them, and they have an extractor and everything that's on there. So when the gun goes off, the pressure from the round pushes the bolt to the rear and cycles the round. So it's pushed the bolt to the rear, then it picks up the next round out of the magazine and slams the next round into the chamber. So what happens here, what's different on this gun than most other 9mm AR style pistols, is that this has a bolt. Okay, so this bolt is spring actuated, and what it does is it pushes it forward, as you can see here. It still has the cam here, and it has the gas key has been milled out so that when you go to clean, you can pull this cam out. Okay, so that's really about the only distinction that looks much different than a regular AR bolt. But with this being spring loaded, what it does is when it goes into the chamber and it's pushed forward, you can see how it rotates the bolt just a little bit. It rotates it just enough so that it locks into position. Okay, so when the pistol goes off, and the round ignites, pushes the round out, it pushes this whole assembly back, and it slows it down just enough so that it's pushing this back, and then the round leaves the chamber. You have less moving parts as the bullet is leaving the barrel. So as this pushes back, then it then pushes the bolt carrier back into the buffer right here, pushes this all the way back into the buffer, comes back, picks up the next round. Now the buffer itself will push this as it sits in here. It will push the carrier and the bolt into the chamber and lock it. So when you go to put this back together, as I'll show you in a second, you'll need to push in on this bolt just a little bit, and it'll slide down in position because it needs this resistance on here to help push that in and lock it into position. Okay, it doesn't lock it all the way into position because it still needs a little bit of room for it to push that round back and to make it cycle. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reassemble this real quick. So in doing this, one of the things that they're able to do is they're able to cut weight on this gun. So this gun is a little bit lighter than your standard ARs, because your standard 9mm ARs, because it doesn't have as heavy a bolt. Okay, it doesn't have a much heavier bolt and a much heavier buffer to absorb all that recoil that's going through the gun. So what they're able to do is run a standard buffer, or a fairly light buffer, and what they've done is they've drilled a hole through here, which you can use a roll pin, and they have weights that you can insert into the rear of this. So if you want to tune this to run subsonics better or more efficiently, or however you want to do this, what you can do is you can tune the bolt. You can by adding weights into here instead of adding weight into the buffers. So that allows us to run the lighter bolt carrier group. So this will, when you can combine being able to change weights on your bolt by sliding it in here and being able to change weights in your buffer, you can tune this to run just about any type of ammunition out there. But this is already designed to eat almost every type that's available. So when you go to put this thing back together, it'll go back together just like a regular AR. You'll push it in and you'll see that the bolt wants to push out just a little bit right here. So as you reassemble, what you'll need to do is you'll just need to push in a little bit here. Now they have this beveled on the bottom, if you can see, so that it will most likely hit. But if it doesn't and it comes down to hit here, you just push in on a little bit because it needs that resistance on there. All right, so this gun itself, collapsed without the suppressor, comes in right at 19 inches and the whole gun comes in at 4.5 pounds. So this is going to be your go-to mainstay for a truck gun. This is going to be a very good, dependable piece, and especially with that bolt and the way that it's set up in there. So we know we like it here, and we hope you do too, and we'll see you next time at Gun Stuff.